we can perform our own autopsy and toxicology. It's just so saddening that since we have been screaming and saying it, they did not listen. They did not listen.
Thank you.
Because things like this are bound to happen. And when you have amateurs, handling cases like this is what you face. This is what you face when amateurs are the ones that are handling the case or that handle the case from the get-go. Only God knows when they sent the autopsy or if they sent the autopsy at all. Because like I said, Susan had the ability to go into her classified informations, and when she checked around, not me, Susan, when she checked around, there was nothing, absolutely nothing anywhere and everywhere. Okay, so who knows when? I'm not sure. We have to regroup. Who are the people still speaking to the lawyers? We have to regroup and say, okay, which way do we want to go, or do we want to go always? Because really, independence lawsuit should have been going simultaneously against Wunmi, against Darusha, against Adura, against Mama Adura. Independence lawsuit should have been going on the exact same way we're working on the one for the embalmment. But did they listen? The answer is no. Which way forward are we going to go now? Do we want to say, okay, we want to rerun our own autopsy if they are already saying that due to decay, that is why they cannot do it? And I don't believe that, because even here, when you exhume body, 2 months, 3 months, even a year, you will still be able to ascertain the cause of death. You can say, oh, we viewed now. Now, let's go back. Let me backtrack. What is autopsy and toxicology? I do not understand why it was separated to begin with, because they still need to view the bones, view the neck, view every part of the body. How could they have ascertained? Where did they take the body to see? Was a stab wound in the abdomen that pierced the lungs? I don't know how they did it. There was no family member or family professional representative when the government was doing this. So it's been very shady all along. There was no professional saying, okay, when they were doing the toxicology, they viewed the bone, they viewed the bone marrow, they viewed the artery, they viewed the heart, they viewed the lungs, they viewed this, they viewed that. Nobody was there. I think we later found out from Baba that Blessing was there. Blessing was there. Then when we asked people to go and view this body, the TikTokers went to view the body. I mean, it's been so I don't know if we still can go through this route of autopsy and toxicology, or if we have to go through another route altogether. So Baba and his legal teams, we have to sit down, and I don't know who the legal teams are. Okay, they all have to sit down and re-strategize. I think the word strategy has been said many times in a day on this platform. Strategy. But it is what it is. It does not mean that Wunmi is free. Wunmi is not free, especially now that we have a new information from what the sniper said, that the legs were broken. So they're still going to be charged for even more bodily damages. We heard from what Prime Boy said, and so now definitely under the criminal law, probably it will now be a must to do DNA, because the same Mohbad said he called the boy a bastard. Quote unquote, I'm not the one calling him a bastard. He said Mohbad called the boy a bastard, and that is why they were fighting. So there's still a lot of areas we can go through, but I don't know. It is what it is right now. We just have to re-strategize, and it's very heartbroken, but all hope are not lost, or it's not lost. So that would be my humble submission.
Can I ask a question? Don't you see no vex? Because me, I like to ask questions. So what does this mean for Prime Boy? Yeah, what does this mean for Prime Boy? Because right now, they've said, obviously, they've seen injury and all of that. So would they still now go after Prime Boy as the person that led to blah, 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 and blah?
Let Aristocrat answer that. I think Aristocrat is there.
Why are you assigning who to answer it?
What did you say?
Okay, let Aristocrat answer it. Why did you ascribe it to Aristocrat?
Go ahead, please. I just came online. I've not heard anything. So I'm listening to everyone.
The sniper, anybody can answer your question. When you throw a question to the house, anybody can answer that question.
Yeah, I didn't mention anyone's name.
It was Bayo that is assigning who answer what question. So he said Aristocrat should answer that.
No, go ahead, Madam Iron Lady. Madam Mary's. Please go on. Answer that question quickly, please.
I mean, it's open to the floor. Anybody can answer it, but no. These are areas where you need good lawyers.
Sorry, this is not time to drag.
I'm
please.
talking. I'm already talking. I've moved past that.
Okay, ma. Okay.
This is the time you need good lawyers. I'm very confident about Prime Boy's lawyer. He is going to fight with tooth and nail. He will not let anybody put anything on the boy that does not belong to him. So it does not mean that, because we will do a return demonstration, and that one, as they said, is superficial. And Wunmi herself said it at the inquest that the wound could general. I was just using something to rub it. So the question is, what killed Mohbad? Because the autopsy cannot tell us, but at least Prime Boy can also say that, or Prime Boy's lawyer can say that wound, even though it cannot come from a Prado. It cannot. When you do a return demonstration, do it 1 million times in 1 million country, you will not get the same results. Okay, even if you do it under technology, try to mimic it and do it, you cannot get that result. So they cannot put that on him, if that is what they want to claim by him. So where did the profuse bleeding? Right now, Baba stand a bigger chance to sue the police. Now, autopsy says superficial. Where did the profuse bleeding came from? Okay, there are so many things, but that one, it cannot be put on the Prime Boy. To the best of my understanding, you cannot put it on him, because that is not the wound. And remember, everybody testified that Prime Boy did not hit back. Prime Boy did not hit back. So how can they put it on him? Especially now that autopsy and toxicology said that the wound is superficial. How can they put it on him? No, they cannot put it on him. Every finger points to Wunmi. Plus, they said something happened. They were having an argument in the car. Blah 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 blah. I mean, it's there's still room to exploit. We have not, we have not done a good job. But there's still room to exploit. There's more room to exploit, and anybody else can support or go against us.
Can I ask another question, if you guys don't mind?
Oh,
if
sure.
I want to speak, let me know. Okay. After hearing more, like from what I've said today, right? Does that mean if it happens to be this thing that we've read?
Please wait. Let me ask a question. Me, myself, hold on, because I want to ask you that you're going to ask me a question. Lady Abby, so are they, and me, myself, everybody here, so are they now saying that, because if you said inconclusive, that's from autopsy, so the toxicology showed that there were no toxins in the body. Is that what they're saying?
I mean, that is what they are trying to establish, is that even the nurse is going to cut free.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I need to understand.
I have said it many times that the medications the nurse gave, the medication ceftriaxone, paracetamol, and was, they cannot kill Mohbad. They cannot kill Mohbad. From the day they read it, I have been screaming that those medications cannot kill Mohbad. Even if you have an allergy to ceftriaxone. Ceftriaxone is a very, very common antibiotic. You can give it in IV form. You can even give it in IM. When people come, you have I'm having itchy. I had sex last night. I have some itches. You give them IM cyprotriazone. You mix it with 3cc. You're done. You go on your way. You know, you cannot even have, even if you're allergic to it. It's not that severe that, you know, it can shut down your respiratory panel. You can have grumps, pimples, you can have chills, you can have rashes, you know, superficial side effects you can have. For that kind of a guy that has a collateral reservation or reservoir, there's no way something happened to Mohbad.
So, Lady Erin, so based on your response now, because let's look at it this way. So this result, they have focused on autopsy. There's nothing on toxicology. So clearly this was botched. Because I'm trying to understand how this 7 months, remember they had a police report where they came out to say that the autopsy, can anybody remind me what the police said about the autopsy? I think they were talking about being inconclusive along those lines. So they're waiting for toxicology. So you won't tell me 10 weeks, the US waited 10 weeks to give sample to come back on the toxicology to say it's inconclusive. Because from everything this guy has said, I've not heard anything talking about the toxicology. There's nothing. And I've just checked. If you even Google to say why would something be inconclusive, it could be the samples that were taken. What is the guarantee? What is the proof?
Thank you. It could be the sample. That's why I said I don't know why the autopsy was done in Nigeria, because toxicology and autopsy, postmortem corona cases goes together. It goes together. You view the bones. You have to view what if he was stabbed through his rib cage. I'm just saying, how will they know in US? Sample means they send some. I don't understand how they did it this way. And Sanwo-Olu was telling us that the laboratory was burnt down during NSAS. And when we talk, they will say aristocrats in the you will say Nigeria is good. Don't abuse Nigeria. No. Why would they do it that way? And I've given them, Moses gave them a number. Moses gave Muyiwa a laboratory in Nigeria that can perform an excellent job. We gave them a number. I told them about the Chinese man that is in VI that can run everything in total. I don't know. They didn't listen. Muyiwa needs to cover his face.
Because sorry to cut you. Because if you're telling me inconclusive, it don't make sense. If you tell me natural cause,
inconclusive does not mean that. Exactly, inconclusive does not mean that. Inconclusive does not mean that there is no stab wounds, there is no toxin. Inconclusive could mean there is not enough sample. Inconclusive could mean there is nothing, and if there is nothing found, let's say there is no drug found, it will state it, no drug found, no this, but inconclusive means we cannot ascertain, we cannot determine it. And this is, and what are the reasons this could not be determined? The sample sent was too old. I think they said because the composition, but I don't buy that, because of course body get decomposed and they assume it all the time. All the time. You know, all the time they assume these bodies here. Even 100 years bones, they can say, okay, when was it I was looking at something not too long ago, someone that died many years ago, over 100 years ago, and they were able to say the cause of death of that cadaver was so and so. So I don't understand what is playing out here. You know, I don't get it.
And Lady Aries, this is why we should have had our private autopsy ready for today. I'm trying. Well, I'm losing it. Honest to God.
If you are losing it, what do you want me to do or say? When we've been on this case since September, do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. Crying more than the bereaved. And the sniper, you had a question that was interjected. Hold on, Golden State. Let him ask that question.
No, and asked the question already. I was going to ask if, like, as it is now, it's like they're trying to play into the public head. Like, obviously, if no one goes to prison, they see it as win-win in no angle. Like,
it's not win-win. We lost.
Like, no, I'm saying from their own side, from the whoever. Like, obviously, we lost. Baba lost, right? But If Wunmi was to go prison, like the Wunmi team will come out, they might even want to do, they might want to protest. If Prime Boy was to go prison, some people will come out want to protest. But as it is now, it's like they've done it in a way that no one is going to go prison and just leave it.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what they've
that
done.
exactly. I think that's what they have done. That's what they have resorted to, because it seems that if truly, which I strongly believe so, there are some backups. There are some the powerful and the mighty that are in this case backing and watching what we do, and now they see that Prime Boy is suing Wunmi. I said Professor IPO Mohammed said that Prime Boy should confess because they have the dagger. Now, autopsy is saying that everything is superficial. So they say that we are fighting. They wanted to pull it on Prime Boy's head. Prime Boy has sued the police. Okay, we can't go that route because this guy knows his right. They wanted to do the nurse. We said no, lie, it cannot be the nurse because the boy died on Monday. And so they see there is no way to manipulate it other than to say inconclusive. So everybody go home free. Because who wants to go down? If the nurse should go down, the nurse will confess. The nurse will confess.
Yeah. So I actually want to say something. At this point, they actually got what they want, but at the same time, our lawyer needs to do a lot. If they come that other way, if our lawyer can change the game, and if our lawyer change the game, the whole thing will be win for us. Now, from the result of the autopsy and the toxicology, it has been stated that Mohbad's head was bent, his leg was broken. That one alone is a game for us if our lawyer are ready to go through that route.
That is why I said that.
Justice, can I reply your question? Sorry, reply your please. The people that we're dealing with is like everything you bring, they have answer to it. Everything you bring, they have answer to it. If you go this route that you're talking about, I promise you, they have a way to debunk it. See, I keep saying, if these people, like the government, if they could get away with NSAS, if the governor could say nobody died and they got away with it. See, this is not, they don't see this case as something big that they can't
Sniper, please. From. How can they got away with a broken neck, a broken arm, and buying a small casket? What is making them, what is running them, what is pursuing them that make them to go through that route and make that thing happen? I don't think that they can go score with it.
That is why I told you, Justice, wait, the sniper, wait now. That is why when Justice wanted to say that there's no case to the criminal code, that's why I don't want her to say
no,
that.
No, Bayo, I said concerning this result and this upcoming inquest. That one is another route.
That's what I'm telling you. The inquest, we recommend charging. They will make a submission. And part of the submission, they will establish some facts. The establishment of the fact that there was neglect or conspiracy between something and something will be recommended. They cannot strike that out. Because Wunmi holds that guy a duty of care. You will see that when you read that Wunmi's wait now, sniper.
Let me counter what you're saying quickly, please, before it goes. I'm going to mute now, right? Please. We want to find out, from what they've read today, we don't know what killed Mohbad. So, how is buying casket and all of that tell us what killed Mohbad? Was that...
It does not wait because we don't know the cause of death does not mean the case is over. During the time his life was still alive, what did you do to save that boy? We have to know that. What are the attempts? What are the actions you took? And that was why they were asking her at the inquest. What did you do? Were you there when they were giving him the injection? Did you try to save his life? Did you take him to the hospital on time? How long is the hospital from your house? Those are neglect that carry criminal charges. Those are the things that she needs to have done. And after the dead body after he died, what did you do to the dead body? Because there are crimes that can never be overlooked. So it might not be the murder. She might not be charged for murder, but they can still be charged for neglect. They can be charged for some other things. It's not a total free thing. It's not a total free ride. They might not be charging them for murder, right? But they're going to get a court case. They're going to catch cases.
Don't forget that it's
definitely not... Based on this result, Darusha will catch a case because the inquest will recommend charges in their submission. You will see.
Mr. Aristocrat to contribute.
Please, before he comes on, I have a
Mr.
question.
Aristocrat, please, can you?
Please, I have a question. Hold on, go this way. I have a question. I hope the lawyers or whatever they are, I hope they have gotten a copy of that post-mortem result. I hope they took a copy. I hope they've not been stupid there. But sorry, I'm not in a very good mood these days, and I'll not be for the future. I hope they have a copy of that. I hope they've not been stupid and walked out of that place without having a copy, so that they can verify it to confirm that that result came from wherever they said it came from. Right, continue.
I mean, they need to have the originals. They need to have the original that came directly from wherever it came from. You remember when they told us about 2 weeks ago or thereabout that the results of the toxicology is out, the police said that they are all jargons to them and they have submitted it to the pathologists that perform the autopsy to interpret. So we need to have the original, not the interpreted copy. Because the way you interpret English, the way Crunch Queen interpreted the superficial now was different from the way I interpreted it. So they need to have the original copy that came from wherever and the interpretation of that copy. They need to have it. So if it's inconclusive, does not mean a crime was not committed. They just cannot ascertain that from the samples that were sent over there. You know, and that's it for now. Go ahead, Aristocrat, sorry.
Hello, everybody. And baby, don't have hypertension, please. Like I will always say, let everybody, let's deal with this case without too much emotion. The fact is there for us to see, and we will navigate and get things right. I've not been on social since morning. I've been busy. I just said I should come to listen to what has happened. But for what I could gather, it is still not too good report, because it's obvious our suspicion from beginning is that the police were trying to play smart. The people they've accused were supposed to be 4 guys for what did not happen. But because of the outcry of people, they cannot go further with it. And from what I've been hearing so far, is like none of the accused will go down for anything. Just like I used to say, government will give justice, but it is not justice as defined by the people and what the people want. So they give us whatever justice they want to have. I think, personally, what we should be calling for now is pressing the restart button. We should call for new inquest. We should call for new autopsy. We should call for a new team to take over the case. We cannot investigate ourselves constitutionally, but we can demand that the case be given to another team. We can demand that they go back to status quo and let them start the investigation all over again. Now, when they say inconclusive when it comes to post-mortem or laboratory examination, what it means is simply this. They will have to redo it again, because it is either the sample is not sufficient for them to carry out what they would carry out, because they will not get the right result. It is either the sample has been tampered with, so they will still not get the right result. A clear thing from result is always like this. Toxicology, for example, if there are no toxin, it will say no toxin found. On the body, the job of the autopsy is to look at anything on the body and to predict the degree of it and look at the impact. Now, they said he injured himself through the glass. They will see if it is actually an injury. And I think from what I heard, it's a superficial injury, which is not sufficient to kill him. It's like you have a bruises. Bruises no go kill you. If it is not an injury that was deep, that could touch his vein, why did they say he bled profusely? That would be a question. And when everybody were saying It is the injection the nurse gave tetanus. He has hypertension. Let me tell us something. I cut my finger last year, my middle finger, with a very sharp knife, and I could see my bone. You know, that fleshy part of your finger. I bled profusely with that because my flesh was cut. You could see it, you know, separating. And I was in the car, and I moved from where I was. We went for shopping. From where I was to get to my hospital was around 30 minutes drive. So the amount of blood that was coming, my kids were very afraid. They were like, "Dad, you are bleeding." I used all the tissue in the car, a new tissue, to wrap it up, to hold it, making pressure on it. But each time I was replacing it. That was so much blood. My carpet, I ensured that the blood did not drip on my carpet of the car. Now, my wife was driving, and I ensured the blood did not drip on the carpet of the car. But all those tissue, a new tissue, everything was soaked with blood. This was just my middle finger. Till we got to the hospital, and my hand was stitched. I got tetanus, I got all those things they were talking about. I have been diagnosed for hypertension since 2010. It's like 14 years. I was given injection, nothing happened to me. I left the place, I actually left the place and went home and began to do other things. So it surprises me when they were saying it was not injection that killed him, number one. Number two, police tried to tell us his story. And from our analysis, they saw that it is not bought. They were clever by an half. Now, I think for all of us, we should look back and clap for ourselves, especially on Paparano's platform, for analyzing this case since like November, when reanalysis started, analyzing this case and being able, even though we were not police, FBI or anything, we've been like 80% right of things that we said. 80% right, I would say. So we need to pat ourselves on the back. And what that means is we have a conscious public that could see through things and could place things side by side, even without having access to a number of gadgets, a number of instruments, like the police of Nigeria have, because I know they have a lot of gadgets. They are well equipped, like what they have. And we were able to see that things were not done right. Having said that, I think Yoruba will say, Inyo oda tugun, obe oda tuse. We should not be tired. We need to start all over again. Because it is obvious that whatever the government have done for the last 8 months are all mumbo jumbo, bladderdash, from head to toe. And they've wasted the taxpayers' money to do that. Now, the people that are saddled with those responsibilities have failed us. The result of the autopsy was out, I think around November or so. They did not read it because they said they need someone to read it. Now that they came to read it, they are reading rubbish. They spent 12 weeks to do bloody toxicology that they said they sent abroad. What is the end game? Rubbish. Not that we don't know this will happen, but this is for me where the fault comes from. Nobody today, we don't talk, say, make we do private postmortem. What has happened? Emperor Muiwa, what happened? Olori Oku, Baba Mohbad, what happened? All the Egbe Afenifere, what happened? Those who are contributing money, go fund me, go back me, what happened? We should have done better. Because if we have commissioned a private autopsy around February, or even in March, or even in April, we will have done the first side of it, which is the autopsy. It will only take 2 weeks. Irrespective of the stage of the body, a result will come out. If we have commissioned the toxicology, result will be on its way. But we failed to do that because we are not looking at the evidences, we are looking at the noise and the distraction. And for me, this is just the report. Even if you have the best lawyers, best lawyer will only come with the possibility, just like what we always analyze. But they need the hard fact to fight whatever government brings. But let me tell you something. They can still do post-mortem examination. Look at Sylvester case now. They did how many post-mortem on that young boy? Cops. About 3 or 4. The government did the first one. The family did the second one. Then the government went to do the third one. The cops was there. And they were using it before they came last month to tell us the final verdict.
Please, let's listen to the sound. Let's listen to the sound, please. Thank you. Let me come on video. Papariano, people can see me. That's the lawyer, please. The sound.